Hello there, Atheist Junior here, your friend and humble narrator. And today we're just looking at Lupin's channel again. I'm making the claim that Lupin has currently bought fake subscribers, or is continuing to buy them, and or view botting his videos to get more views, because he's about to crack 2,000. And it's just so obvious. It's so obvious, but he's just in denial about it. Like he can't admit, or obviously he just won't admit that this is obviously what he's doing. So I figured we just watch along and maybe see if we can catch him cracking 2,000 subs live. I don't know how long the stream will be up, but it could be fun. We'll see. Just for reference, who streams at 2 in the morning? Well, Lupin does. I streamed at like 4 last night. Yeah, just for reference, switch over to this tab. So this is a fan wiki that somebody wrote about my channel. I don't know who, but it actually has my subscriber milestones. So you can see here, 100 subscribers, 300, 400, 500. October 13th, 2021. So you could see 2021 is when I started uploading videos. At the beginning of the year is when I started taking the channel seriously, or just started making content, uploading it. And you could see here, it took me about a year to crack 1,000 subs. And when I cracked 1,000 subs, it was when the video with me and Apologia came out, which was at the time the biggest collab I had ever been on. And like my subscriber count like tripled in one day. It was at like, I think 500 or 300, and it basically cracked 1,000 the day the video came out. But Lupin, he got, I think, 1,000 subs in one day. I mean, damn. If it's not fake, it's impressive. I'll give him that. Yeah, monthly subscribers, almost 1,000. Oh, there's one more. You could play a drinking game to this. So yesterday, it was at 1730. The day before, it was at 1380. You can see how it's like a flat line, and then it's this huge spike. So he went from 1,200, 1380 to 1,700 in 2 days. So he got about 500 subs over the course of 2 days. I mean, just look at this. So you can see here, there's no gain of subscribers for a while. And then in one day, it goes from 0 March 18th to 160 the next day, 350 subscribers the next day, and he's gotten 40 today so far. I get about 1 new subscriber per week on my channel, but I've earned all my subs. I've never bought a single subscriber. Do you need me to zoom in more, chat? I found a really funny clip of him actually. I thought I was wrong. I thought Lupin didn't actually reference this, but he did. Let me bring that clip up. It's pretty funny. Let me just find this clip. So I did watch the rest of that calling out my hater stream, because Big Bad Mama told me that there was some more interesting stuff in there. It's funny because he talks about the Kentucky atheist. Like, he did multiple videos like comparing Kentucky atheists to me, as in like, oh, look how this one atheist is so much more cordial than Atheist Junior. And then the next day, Kentucky atheist goes on there and he was talking to them about the Big Bang Theory, and Lupin's just like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I want to have you on the panel anymore." I think, and then basically Kentucky Atheist told him to eat a dick and left. So it's just funny that the next day, like, he basically was proven wrong. Like, yeah, in the conversation we had, I obviously came into the stream expecting to tell Lupin to fuck off by the end, and Kentucky Atheist came on and was a bit more calm with him. That's true. But that doesn't mean that it's not still super frustrating trying to talk with Lupin and Stump, because they're just ignorant and they don't know anything about science. They don't know what they're talking about. All right. Just give me 1 sec. All right, I'm going to share my screen and show this other clip because it's pretty damn funny. And by funny, I mean sort of enraging.
And she left. That's a smart person does that. A logical person does that. What a silly little man. You have more patience than I do. As someone who's autistic, I don't know who the other dude is. I find an extremely rude and soft version of calling someone R word, whatever. My dad killed himself. That explains a lot. It does explain a lot, and like I said, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, you're very sincere, Lupin. Very sincere.
That man feels so confident to randomly throw out pointless insults. There's no pointless insults. Let's see. Can't wait to finish watching. Guy sounds drunk. The clay guy at the end talks at a Valley Girl by Soot Kettle. Soot Kettle. Tell that to Clay yourself, huh?
See, he did reference you, Soot Kettle, so you did get referenced in the stream.
Is a real person or just a character? And do people actually follow him? I feel my brain cells dying every time he tries to show dominance.
Great comment. That one made me laugh hearing him read it. So great comment to whoever left that. I don't know, because he's not showing the comments on screen. He's just reading them.
Like I said, I mean, I just stand on principles. That's about it. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a good portion of these people, they just like me. They just dislike me, and they don't even know why. They don't
I think people pretty much explained why in those comments.
know why. They've never had interaction with me.
Yeah, but people can still see how you interact with other people. Like, obviously, the people in my comment section are going to favor me. And if they see a person that they like talking to you, and you come off as an asshole, yeah, it's gonna paint their perception of you. That's obvious. They don't have to meet you or talk to you for that to happen. Duh.
But I guarantee you, if we do have interactions, it's probably not going to end well. Oh, I wasn't showing that channel. But anyway, I was just reading the channels from this video's comment. I'm not gonna.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing really good.
I couldn't resist coming to shit on Lupin. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I did a stream by myself last night. It was real late because it was super impulsive. Um, but Aiden had told me that I would have liked to have Aiden on that stream, and just because there's so many people that he talks about. Um, so yeah, the link's in the chat if anybody else wants to have fun with this guy. But I actually saw the end. I saw the very end of your interaction with Lupin, where you basically told him to eat a dick, but I didn't see the start of that conversation.
Oh yeah, yeah. It started out being about evolution, of course, and saying that we don't observe evolution and stuff. And I explained examples where we do, and Stump was like, "Well, you know, you believe one thing and I believe the other, and they should teach both in schools." And I said, "No." Uh, I said the thing is that one of those things has been through a process, and the other hasn't. And so if you want to put it through that process, then go for it. But that they got mad because they couldn't stump me on stupid ass questions, and so he said, "I think it's about time you leave," and kicked me out of an open mic stream.
Yeah. It was just, it just shows his narrative is bullshit. So I want to play this clip because it's pretty funny, but maybe we could look at some of that convo that you had with him and Stump.
Sure.
All right.
This one right here was pretty funny. Lupin takes a break from buying subs to watch. That's funny too. That just shows you the lies. Like I said, the funny thing about it is I had an idea of what happened, but to be honest with you, I'm still not sure. Still not sure how I got so many subs at once. Don't know.
Yeah, it's like I tripped and I fell on this guy's dick and got pregnant, like
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
Or I got pregnant and it was from the Holy Spirit. It was from God.
I don't think God gave him the subs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny how he really is feigning ignorance here. Like,
yeah.
No. I know who it involves, but I don't know what it was that he did. Personally, I really don't care. And honestly, I kind of enjoyed my low sub count because whenever I would have 17 views on a video and 8 likes, that's pretty good. But now that I have a couple, 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 subs, now it's like it makes my ratio, it puts my ratio up there a little bit more. But honestly, my channel is actually steadily growing just a little bit. So please share this with your friends, family, anybody who likes content, anybody that likes open panels. I'm really looking for people to talk to that can just have a decent conversation, you know. But yeah, not like even after that whole sub blow up, like I've noticed that my channel just is growing a lot naturally, a lot at a lot slower pace, but you know.
okay, what does that mean? It's growing naturally now, in contrast to what? Is this him like almost it sounded like he's like admitting that he got fake subs here.
Yeah. 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 He makes reviews of his own videos, reviewing other things. And uh, he's had a low sub count forever, which is fine, whatever, There were still people coming to talk to him, but his channel just artificially blew up overnight. Like, I haven't pulled the Social Blade thing on it, but I imagine it's not pretty.
Yeah, we've been watching it. He's coming up on 2K subs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, but this part genuinely made me mad.
Gaining more subscribers, so I'm happy with that. But I've seen these numbers being manipulated so much, and I know how it's done. To be honest with you, I know how it's done. I've seen likes being manipulated in real time. I've seen subs being manipulated in real time. Guys, I mean, we ain't that important. We're not that famous. We're not as famous as we think we are. Some are real, some are, some are fake, probably some bots, I don't know. But yeah, just like all these subs and everything, those numbers can be so twisted. So careful, don't let that go to your head. Don't think I'm anybody special just because I, have a little bit over 1,000 subs. Nothing that I ain't nothing that special, man. All I'm here
This is priceless.
for is to proclaim Jesus Christ, proclaim the gospel the best I can, and the best I can do it may not be.
Yeah. So just knowing like the amount of work it takes to like reach the amount of subs I had, it genuinely makes me angry. Him talking like this, like you are the fake person in this scenario, Lupin. Like,
Yeah.
What does he mean that he had? It was hi, by the way.
hey, Big Bad Mama.
What does he mean that he had? He's seen subs being manipulated, and I mean, I've never seen subs being manipulated on my channel.
I mean, I think we're watching it right now on Lupin's, but I don't think that's what he meant.
He got 1,000 subs in 2 days.
Right.
Without ever getting 1,000 views in those 2 days.
Right. There was no video that went viral, for example.
Yeah.
Well, his newest stream has cracked 1,000 views, which I think is related to this, what he's doing, because it's got like 7 likes and like one person commented on it. So like he said in the video, he acknowledged that this makes his ratio look very sus,
Yeah.
Because when I do a live stream, I usually consider it, my goal is to reach basically 1,000 views and 100 likes within the first 24 hours. Because it's like you're like 4 digits for the subs and you get triple digits for the amount of likes. Like I consider that to be satisfactory. You know what I mean? And that's a healthy ratio because it's like a 1 to 10 ratio. Oh, we lost one. But with this, it's like the numbers just don't line up. And we saw this with Hovind too. It's just, I don't know why he thinks that people are convinced by this, especially with his track record of dishonesty in the past.
I don't understand this thing. He talked about fame, like that he's only judged by the number of subs that he has. I don't know of anyone doing that.
He's like, we're not that famous. It's like, you're not famous at all, Lupin. I don't consider myself famous. No. But like, don't try and lump yourself in with channels that are bigger than yours. I mean, he basically named his channel after a much bigger gaming channel. That's why it's hard to find his channel by searching for it.
Didn't you run this on Missy Mod's show and it was 1776?
Yeah, I remember that.
So look what it is now.
Mm-hmm. That was like maybe 2 hours ago. 2 or 3. Yeah, because I made that joke.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we'll look at some of this. I did watch more of that video where he was talking about missing mod and all that. I couldn't find the part where he was talking about Christian Pike, but yeah.
He said Christian Pike was basically an atheist, so he should have put Christian in the atheist.
I know.
Haters.
Yeah, and it was all kind of out of order. Okay, I think I know which video it is. It was the open panel night. And then because it's him and Stump, yeah. Yeah, I heard it at the end. You're like, yeah, some open mic, some open panel.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he pissed me off.
Yeah, it's frustrating to talk to him. That's why I don't plan on going on his channel again anytime soon, because that's what he wants. He doesn't want to talk on anybody else's channel. He wants people to come on his channel, and that's like Darth Dawkins. That's just a sign that somebody won't talk to atheists unless they have the moderator control of the microphones, able to boot people. Like, you shouldn't need that if you're arguing in good faith,
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like anybody that's talked to me, I wasn't like being, a dick to him or anything. I was being cool about it. I was just telling him like, no, there's this thing, like you can look this up if you want. And, he got mad though and said that was enough.
I talked to him and Jill a couple nights ago. That was something.
Yeah, I saw Jill. Was that on Mod stream?
Yeah, it was the night stream she did.
Yeah, I like that she's doing those late night streams. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, it took me a second to find the right timestamp, but I don't want to be like Lupin, like clicking around a video trying to find the right timestamp. It was super annoying trying to watch that. Okay.
Sounds like Hovind.
Right?
That's all baloney anyways. Because you always tell them that you love them as another human being, that you want the best for them, that you want them to find Christ. You're not being on here.
Yeah, it's not hateful. As a matter of fact, whenever I was like, I did like my whole criticism list. I said I'm even gonna be nice and just say some positive things about him. I said, AJ, I saw some of his art, and at first some of it was mediocre, but then I saw some that progressed, and I think it got a lot. I think it was a lot better. So he's a good artist, But I mean, he says despicable things about me all the time.
Why do you have to frame the compliment in that backhanded way? Why can't you just say like, oh, I like this specific piece, or I think that you've gotten better? Why do you have to start it off by saying that my art is mediocre? Like,
because he doesn't want to compliment you. He's using this as an example to try to point that he's a good Christian, but he's really using it just another slight against you.
They had been shitting on atheists for like 10 minutes at this point.
Yeah, this is the part that also kind of genuinely pissed me off, just because it's so petty. Like, you can attack me for my argumentation or my beliefs or worldview. If you disagree with that, we could talk about it. Even if shit gets heated, that's the nature of this format. But why do you have to talk shit about my artwork? Like, that just has nothing to do with anything.
No.
Yeah. And I don't think you have to be a great artist to criticize art. I think anybody can critique art again, it's like, are you coming from a position of good faith? And it's like, well, I'd like to see what has he done? You know what I mean? Like, let's compare oil paintings. Like, how many oil paintings have you sold, Lupin?
Yeah,
probably none.
I like this ambushed apostate comment, by the way, and shout out to him.
Yeah, Big Bad Mommy. I really want to get you in my Discord, because ambushed apostate is in there a lot, and we have a lot of good people commenting in there. So
yeah, send it to me.
I actually met and had a long conversation with ambushed apostate because of this stream. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
He's got a channel too, so go and check him out.
Time and things that are just not true. So I mean, if you're a liar, I may call you out for being a liar. I mean, that's not degrading somebody. That's just calling somebody out online. It's very simple.
Who's the red hand here?
Kentucky Atheist. Yep, he's Ark.
This Kentucky Atheist.
Yeah,
Ark and the red hand. What's the meaning behind that? Kentucky Atheist?
Do you want to talk about that?
I tell him here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm hosting and organizing the Ark Encounter protest this year.
You joking? Or are you serious?
No, that's why he has that as his avatar, because it's a very elaborate joke.
Why would he joke about something? Stump is such an idiot.
There's been a protest there every year, minus sometimes here recently. There's been a protest there every year, so I don't know why that would seem like a joke.
Right.
Sure.
So Stump, that thing you said about you need to
You don't need to be that smart. You just need to be smart enough to understand that you didn't come from apes and things were designed.
Yeah.
So you need to be smart enough to deny the things that science tells us. Is that your position?
What does science tell us? Tell me what it tells us.
Well, science absolutely supports that we are apes and that evolution is true.
How's that though? You didn't tell me how. Though, you're saying. How does it tell us that?
How does science tell you that?
What's the evidence for it?
The evidence for evolution.
What's the evidence for that I'm an ape?
The evidence for evolution.
No. Just that I'm an ape. Can you tell me what's the evidence that I'm an ape and you're an ape?
Well, genetics would be the biggest one, but
how does the genetics say that?
Because from our coding DNA is 98% the same. We have.
Well, really, it's just definitionally the way that if you subscribe to using the English language, then you're using the term ape. By definition, it means a certain taxon within the tree of life that has these different characteristics, right? And humans fall into all those categories. So just by the usage of the word, humans are apes, because that's how the taxonomists classify us.
Right.
And it's like they could disagree with that, but that is what science says.
It's basic biology. I mean, so yeah, as you said, they can disagree with it, but we're classified as apes and there's nothing they can say about it. And why is it our job always to educate them on the science of the matter? They should be able to steel man the evolution position.
Yeah, I asked Kent to do that and he failed utterly. He wouldn't even engage with the question.
And Stump is asking Joe here to basically tell him everything about evolution on a live stream. And it's like, why don't you learn it yourself and then have a discussion about it, Stump?
Yeah, and it's like you're not coming in. This is what I mean about arguing in good faith. Like, you can tell he's not coming into this conversation ready to engage with the ideas, and like any evidence that's going to be presented, he's actually going to consider like, oh, this might be true, this might not be true. Because I do think that you shouldn't just believe something because a scientist says that it's true, because scientists can be wrong. They're wrong. They're humans and they're fallible. Individuals tend to be fallible. So people get educated so they can be an expert in one really, really, really specific field. That's one downside of having a specialization, is if you have a PhD in something, especially like the thing you write your doctorate about, it's going to be a very, very niche topic. So it's impossible to be an expert on everything. But, we can get people of a certain topic together, and those people have different disciplines, like within geology or biology. Like they might study different types of rock sediment, or like oceanic crust versus the other type of crust there is.
It's very specific.
There's all different like areas that you could study in these different fields, but collectively, when experts agree, you have basically a unanimous agreement of scientists. I'm going to tend to think that those people probably know what they're talking about better than I do, or better than any of the people on Lupin live stream, or this live stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
As I was telling Missy Maud, it's like any sort of scientific methodology is included in the scientific paper itself, so that you can repeat the testing and the experiments that the scientists did. You don't just have to take their word for it. You're free to run all the tests you want, and you don't have to be, you don't even have to have gone to university or what have you. You can go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue.
Genes in our DNA that's been passed down through evolution over millions of years, genes that are in other animals that we don't use anymore that still get passed down, that that are useless to us, but still get passed around. Genetics supports it. I mean, that's one.
Well, let's stop there real quick. How many? There's 2% difference according to what you're saying. If that's true, I don't know.
Encoding DNA.
But how much in the actual numbers? How many different numbers are there in the DNA besides 2%? What does that mean? If there's 30 billion DNAs, strands, or whatever you call them, what's the difference? What's the number? That's the difference. Is it 2 billion? 1 million?
What an incoherent question.
Yeah.
And dishonest. Yeah.
Yeah.
He tries to play this game with me with numbers, and it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
Oh,
2?
I don't know the exact number of differences. See, so that percentage is based on coding DNA. So obviously we branched away from each other at some point. So there's parts of it that do not get.
How is that obvious? How is that obvious? You just made a statement. It's how is it obvious that we branched off?
Because we're not morphologically the same as apes. We're similar, but not the same. So,
yeah, if you look at a human ear and then look at the ear of a chimpanzee, I mean, they're pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Humans and chimps share the same amount of hairs per follicle. You know, we have opposable thumbs in the same way that looks very similar. There's a lot there are a lot of pretty evident similarities. But yeah, you can go ahead, Big Bad Mama.
Well, yeah, and to estimate the amount of time since we diverged from chimpanzees, we do it through the molecular clock to estimate the timing of, an evolutionary event by comparing the genetic difference between the two. And also we use the fossil record and radiometric dating to predict it too. And it's amazing how they correlate to one another.
Right. The reason that I think it's obvious that humans and chimps separated is to simply look at Lucy. If you want to say that what is the evidence that it's obvious that humans and ancient apes separated and evolved to be different from each other, I mean, it's Lucy, because she's exactly halfway between a modern bipedal human and an ancient ape that would have been a knuckle walker.
Tree dwelling ape.
Yeah, tree dwelling. You look at her pelvis, her feet, toes, and when I say Lucy, I mean the species, because there are over like 300 or 400 specimens, full skeletons. It's not just Lucy. They think it's just one fossil. That's her whole species. But her feet, pelvis, her skull, the skull cap, and the ribs, it's all exactly halfway between how the skeleton of ancient apes look and how the skeleton of a modern human looks. So I know later on they just want to throw Lucy out as being just completely fake, which is ridiculous.
They just use Lucy as the example for all pre-human fossils. And they think that if they can, somehow make it seem like Lucy's a fake, because they found a baboon's bone, for example, in Lucy. But they think that discounts all the specimens they have of Australopithecus, what's the other one? Paranthropus? Homo erectus, Homo habilis, all these.
Africanus,
right?
Sahelanthropus, Homo habilis. There's tons of them. Homo erectus.
Yeah, they always want to try and say that the anomalies dictate the norms.
Yeah, definitely.
They do the same with Nebraska man or Piltdown man. Like, these are still relevant.
And radiometric dating.
Right.
Yeah. Well, with Piltdown Man, it wasn't a young Earth creationist that discovered that it was a fraud. It was a scientist that accepted evolution. That's why they knew it was a fake, was because it didn't fit in with the rest of the taxonomy.
Right. And some scientists knew at the time of that discovery. They were saying this is not real.
It's like with Archaeopteryx, they told the guy not to publish the article before he published it.
Oh, that was Archaeoraptor.
Right, but they the fossils were merged, weren't they?
Yeah, it was part Archaeopteryx, but the Archaeopteryx fossils are legit, and there's about a dozen of them. But yeah, they combined 2 fossils to get the Archaeoraptor fossil. And I think it was National Geographic that published it. And yeah, somebody did tell them not to publish that.
Right. Yeah. So National Geographic published an article about a fossil that they called Archaeoraptor, and they called it a missing link between birds and dinosaurs. But they found out that it wasn't a single fossil, but a combination of 2 different fossils that were glued together. But yeah, Archaeopteryx is one of the most brilliantly preserved fossils that we have. Like, it's iconic, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
That's why I'm saying it's obvious there are differences.
So, I mean, so what experiment has been done to prove, what specific experiment has been done that proves evolution? And you said, I think you said it before, that science.
I would say the long-term E. coli experiment is a good example, because it happened over 30 years, and E. coli have a very short generation time.
I don't recall, but I think I give bacteria as the answer to this question. I don't remember for sure, but I think that's what I tell him. Not E. coli specifically, though.
Right. But they've been able to see changes in fitness, evolution in the genome, like increased cell size, specialization of different systems, and the development of them being able to eat citrate or to grow on citrate.
Right. Antibiotic resistance.
Right. So that's
I
all.
give that one for sure.
The what about the multi-celled organisms that they've developed, where a single-celled organism has evolved into a colony, right?
Well, that's Chlamydomonas, and it's not a colony. It's a single-cell organism that develops into a multi-celled organism, where the individual cells, if they separate, they'll die. But in a colony, the cells, if they break off, they can continue to live on as their own single-celled organism.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And with Chlamydomonas, it went from being single cell to being multicellular, and they had a filter feeding protist in with the algae, which was a predator that would eat the algae. But when it became multicellular, it had an extracellular matrix, and this was a beneficial mutation because it made it to where it was now too big to fit in the proboscis of the protist. So it was basically able to survive because of it evolved. And that's single cellular to multicellular, and it happened over the course of 50 weeks. So it was observable in the lab. And yeah, I mean, it's been presented to Hovind a bunch of times, and he's already said, I'm going to look into this. He never does. I would struggle to even explain something like this to Lupin, though. That's the hard part, is that these people are on almost another level where even Hovind has a more familiarity with some of this stuff than these people do. They just have no idea.
Well, I do struggle with it, actually, even in this video, because it's like, now what are you asking?
I think you're doing really good.
Well, it's good. This is good practice for having to explain these complex topics, because it is that's what's difficult, is being in these scenarios where you're trying to explain something, because it makes it seem like you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because you're describing something that's complex, and these guys like, well, I mean, it's just so easy to have the argument from incredulity is just such a baseline human response to be incredulous to stuff like that. It's so easy to do. And yeah. I think the Christians really default to that, especially the young earth Christians.
True.
really doesn't even prove anything.
It's not, I didn't say that science proved it at the beginning of this. I said science absolutely supports that evolution is true.
I think you've said that science doesn't prove anything. So science doesn't,
and I didn't say it this time either.
Okay, so you're saying that science
supports the idea
or theory.
Science makes observations and comes to conclusions. Evolution is supported by every observation that they make in science. Obviously studying evolution.
Have we ever observed evolution happen?
Yes.
Macroevolution.
Yes.
In what way?
Species changing into new species? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
We've seen it in the lab and in the field.
Okay. What science experiment? What's the experiment?
What did we observe it? How did we observe it? Is that what you're asking?
Really quickly, because they're moving on kind of fast. Oh, we have Beerus. And hello.
Hello.
I put the link in the chat as well. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. I watched your stream that you just did a few hours ago, and I made a few comments on the side to try to give some background to the stream that Lupin was going through, and he was pointing the Gangster Ghost stream. That was Lupin was jumping on to interrupt the panel talking about Wildheart.
Yeah,
because that was the night that Wildheart he was in the middle of a crisis, and he had called, I don't know if it was the suicide hotline or 999 or whatever, at least a couple times in a space of a few hours, telling them that he didn't want to live anymore. And then excuse me. And he went with his mother to the hospital, didn't stop his live stream, just, kept it running. And so we were all kind of talking about that the next day on Gangster Ghost stream. And here comes barky little Chihuahua boy in there, just wanting to interrupt and talk about what he wants to talk about. So I felt like Aiden was fully justified in running him off and talking over him, because he has no awareness.
And he wanted to bring up the trans issue specifically because he wanted to create dissension among the people that were in the stream at the time.
And because he knows that triggers Gangster Ghost, and that wasn't even the topic of the show for that day. And Gangster told him that.
Right. Yeah. And he said some pretty nasty stuff on that stream that I mentioned, because he skips around and he skips over it a lot in that video. But yeah, he was basically trying to blame them. It was really bad. But really quickly, I just wanted to say, like, on the idea of science not proving things, like, yeah, it doesn't aim to prove stuff in like a definitive sense, but it's more building and refining the best explanations that we have based on the evidence, which will be revised and replaced as inevitably new evidence is always going to emerge. So we try not to say that we've proven something absolutely, that like, and there's just nothing else to learn on this topic. Nothing else is going to change about it, because it's always proven wrong. I mean, just look at physics in the past 100 years. It was pretty much completely upended. And then you have this whole new, you have Newtonian physics that was basically dominant for hundreds of years. And then you have a quantum theory that's radically different. And it showed that the things we believed weren't wrong, but that at smaller scales, things worked in a very fundamentally different and unintuitive way. So science deals with theories, and theories are tentative. It's an ongoing investigation. You shouldn't look at studying something in science as I'm setting out to discover this specific thing. It's like, we just want to learn more about topics. You know what I mean? Because we know that Albert Einstein talked about how we're basically in a black sea of ignorance, and when we learn new things, that kind of increases the sort of radius of light that we have. But at the same time, that as that radius gets bigger, you see how it shows how much you actually don't know at the same time. So the more you know, the more you learn, the more you realize how much we actually don't know.
I think that's key to this whole thing, really. But
and I don't even know, is Lupin guilty of the Dunning-Kruger? Because I'm not even sure, because with Hovind, he definitely acts like he knows what he's talking about, but with Lupin, it's like he can't even feign to have some relative understanding of the topic. He just doesn't know shit about anything related to evolution or science. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Lupin is willfully ignorant.
Yes, I just put him in the category of somebody who just shit talks. That's all he has.
Yeah,
He talks shit,
that's a
has
good
nothing
point.
to back up anything that he says ever.
Yeah, so he wants to make it personal. All right,
Yeah,
let's
and
keep watching.
he makes it deeply personal at times
Mhm.
because he doesn't understand that in order to get respect from other people, you need to give a little bit of respect. And he doesn't.
Yeah.
He has no concept of how to do that within this community. He just wants to go and interrupt and say, everybody needs to come to my channel. Why? We're on here doing our own thing and hanging out and having these discussions. You need to come and be a part of that and be a productive part of that. He just doesn't know how.
Yeah,
we do it all the
cause,
time.
yeah.
What's the experiment? We do it all the time.
We do it all the time designing antibiotics. We look at how viruses are going to mutate and things to be able to make an antibiotic that will fight off other versions of that virus.
So we take genetic makeup and we experiment what it already has.
No, well, viruses mutate at high rates. So like the flu shot, for instance, we look at the genetic makeup of the viruses and we predict what the flu is going to do, and then we make our flu shots accordingly. Occasionally they get that completely wrong, but most of the time it's right.
So what does this virus morph into? What's the new species?
Well, that's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Morph into?
Like it's morphin' time.
If I would have said a dog, what do you think you would have said?
I mean, is their entire concept of evolution Pokemon style evolution, and that's it?
Yes.
Or even, just some vague form of that, and that's it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Lupin said it in one of these. Yeah, you guys think we came from monkeys. You know, that's his understanding of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep going.
It's not the example of the new species. That's just an example of how they do that with it. We've watched bacteria populations evolve into new populations that can't breed with the others and have completely new characteristics.
What do you mean evolve into new population? Does it? I mean, is it a new population?
New species.
It's a new species of bacteria. So like,
yeah.
What's the name of?
Yeah,
what's the name of it?
AJ, can I say something here?
Yeah.
These are the same guys that believe that there were certain amount of kinds on Noah's boat, and then all those diversified into all the species we have on the planet today. There was a basal cat kind. So they're dishonest in saying they don't believe in speciation, because they believe in hyper speciation that occurs over 4,000 years.
Right.
Don't they have? Don't they have like this weird concept though that somehow the genome can be front loaded with genetic information, and then that somehow is just lost over time? But they can't demonstrate that. It's just a concept that they have.
It's genetic entropy. They're saying that the genome's degrading in species over time, and that's why they go extinct. And Hovind says we're copies of copies of copies, or whatever he says.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been done with tons of different bacteria. You can go look up the names of them. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But it's still bacteria, right? It's still bacteria.
Yeah, but bacteria isn't a species. It's a classification of things.
It's a phylum. I believe you have like eukaryote, eukaryotic bacteria and prokaryotic bacteria, and they're going to stay within those same categories. But like you said, we've seen speciation in bacteria and in macroscopic animals where you have a population that can't interbreed with the previous population. And in one of my Hovind debates, I talked about this with the mosquitoes in the London underground tunnels during World War II. And they had what's called allopatric speciation, when you have a separation from a geographical event, like an island turning, a peninsula turning into an island that separates two populations, and eventually they become so different genetically that they can't interbreed anymore. Well, that's how we classify animals or organisms, as being different species. So, I mean, the thing of like, what's the name of it, is just a type of gotcha question that I find very annoying, because it's like you said, it's irrelevant to the actual point.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
I've got a good one for you. It's a little, outside bacteria, but there was, I'm sure you're all familiar with Morgan Spurlock, the guy who brought us the Super Size Me documentary on McDonald's. Years ago, he also did a documentary on rats and like the history of human populations with rats. And one of the points that was brought up in that video is that over time, their genetics have changed as humans have tried to poison them and kill off populations. Their genetics have changed to respond to those poisons. Now they couldn't have had the encoding to respond to those poisons before, otherwise the poisons would not have killed them, right? They had to develop that over time, and then they showed, just like with bacteria, showing resistance to antibiotics. Same thing with rats and poisons.
Yeah, so it's all about classifications and all that, but we never seen anything change into a different kind of thing that we would say is
Well,
a different
kind isn't a thing. That's why, because you all change the definition of kind all the time.
Right. So there's the rub, right? Because there's no real definitions for anything.
No, there isn't science. There's not in religion. That's the problem. You're trying to use religious words to explain science, and the two aren't compatible.
To be honest, we've gone over this, and a kind, it's a noun, a group of people or things having similar characteristics, and some of its synonyms. Let me see what are some of the synonyms?
Well, in that case, we are apes, right? Because we have similar characteristics to apes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to think you're a kind of ape, that's fine.
Under your definition, we are. It's not me thinking it. You gave the definition, and we are similar to apes in lots of ways. So we must be apes then, right?
That's
under your.
There's a lot of ways or not. Major ways.
Yeah,
yes, in major ways. What major ways are we not similar?
Well, for instance, we create.
It's a good question. This is good.
Yeah, this is why they get mad at me.
Yeah, they don't like being asked questions back. They want to ask all the questions. So
yeah.
Things and build things that apes don't do.
We make different things, but
we can plan and think
use
things
tools
are
too.
Complicated. Yeah. What's the tools they use? Stick, rock, what else?
What they have available in their environment. Yeah.
Well, we have the same thing available. We got to
us being.
Right? So did any?
I agree. We're more.
Did any ape ever make a javelin or a crossbow or a bow and arrow or a slingshot, even a basic slingshot?
I mean, making more advanced things doesn't change the fact that we both use tools. I'm not saying we're not more advanced than the current apes on Earth. That's not the claim.
You're saying we're related to them, though.
Genetically, it's a fact we're related to them. You can look at that.
Okay, I'm just going to read a quote off of this paper. It says, a large number of non-human animal species use tools, and tool is defined as the external employment of unattached or manipulable attached environmental object to alter more efficiently the form, position, or condition of another object, another organism, or the user itself. So just because there's a radical level of difference when it comes to the advancements of tools, it doesn't mean that we don't see that in other animals like apes.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they've observed that apes are actually getting better at this as well over time.
Yeah, and again, like, what does this have to do with the genetics? You know what I mean? On the genetic level, I think that's pretty much irrelevant, you know?
That's what I was going to say, is these are external things. What is the difference between us physically? And the difference is our brain size, you know. That's the basic difference between us and chimpanzees or bonobos or gorillas or, you know, any species. But yeah, to list just things, a javelin or a spear, that doesn't answer the question at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been proven that humans share DNA with pretty much almost every living organism. We have similar DNA partially to a ton of living organisms.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
A ton of them.
Yeah, dumbass.
Yeah.
Because Lupin has studied this personally. He just knows so much.
Well, he can't deny that all living organisms on Earth shared the same genetic code, which is DNA. Like
a shit ton of organisms.
Yeah, that's funny.
He's doing my work for me here.
Yeah.
Probably almost everything. So
yeah, what's that evidence for?
That means that there's a designer, and that, you know,
that face.
This is what I don't understand. Like, how is it that there's a designer for life on Earth when we know that DNA like tries to copy itself, but it always has replication errors. So there's always mutations. Like, are all those mutations planned out like in advance? How is it designed?
This is the most like post hoc rationalized way of looking at anything.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the oh, sorry, AJ. Look at the convolutions you have to go through to do what Lupin just did. A similarity in DNA indicates a creator, which indicates the biblical God, which indicates that Jesus did it 6,000 years ago. I mean, that's what he thinks.
Looks like we have the man himself wants to join the stream. Here. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Lupin.
So, what's up? You came to watch the stream of us watching this video?
Hello?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What y'all up to?
Nothing. We're just watching this video of you talking to Kentucky atheists.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And we were watching your fake subscriber count go up. Actually, you just broke 2,000 subs, so I would say congratulations, but I can't because they're fake, because you're buying fake subs.
That's awesome. I didn't know. That's great.
No, you did know because you bought the fake subs.
I haven't bought nothing.
Yeah, you did.
Bro, I'm broke.
Okay.
I don't have no money to spend on no fake subs.
Well, someone did.
I thought you had enough. I thought you had enough money for a plane ticket to go visit Aiden.
I mean, no, I told you if you front me the money, I'll go and visit him.
No, you said that after you said on your stream that, I'm so petty that I might just go spend a couple $100 to go fly up to Aiden museum in Canada and go visit him
and read some Bible verses to him.
Yeah. So you're just caught out in a lie again.
Oh no!
Pretty funny. Oh, it's pretty funny. You're a fucking joker. You're such a clown.
I am a joker. I am a joker.
You're literally. Yeah, no, you're a clown. Shut the fuck up, Lupin.
You said it before I did.
All right, let's continue.
Did he lose his connection or what happened?
No, I booted him. I hope he's not drinking and driving.
I hope so. Oh gosh, I hope so too.
Hovind actually makes a good point. You know, that we would probably have similar DNA so that we could process and eat certain things like bananas, that we could eat bananas and process and digest bananas.
That's fine.
Birds use tools, as Gizmo pulls out. I've seen the ravens use sticks. They use stuff for.
So are we the same kind as ravens?
I don't think we're the same kind as monkeys. That's what you think.
Well, you said similar people that were similar is the definition of cons. So I'm just applying your definition.
I said it's one of the synonyms of kinds. I didn't say that it's the same exact thing. But the
definition you read, you said it was a noun and it was a group of people with similar attributes is what you pointed to as a definition for cons.
So what is our but you're making. Okay, so
that's the problem with using words that aren't science for science.
Okay, so a skateboard and a car both have 4 wheels. They're similar, so therefore skateboard is car.
Under your definition, they would be the same kind.
Yeah, it's funny because he says that we're parrots or that we're carbon copies and we have the same opinions, but they just repeat what Hovind says.
Yeah, that's
and admit it
more than Hovind. Yeah.
Because because it's a vague definition that doesn't tell you anything. That's the problem with using that.
It's not vague to me at all.
Huh?
It's not vague to me at all. No, it's just common traits doesn't equal.
You are the one that just pointed out yourself the problem with it by comparing skateboards and cars. You did that, not me.
Ask the fake scientist what he thinks about the brain. What do you think about the brain?
What about it? Like, ask a specific question.
I think he's talking to Kentucky. I think he's being a smart aleck.
Yeah, he's trying to be.
Oh, the thing is, so what I looked up, there's 35 million base pairs of DNA. 1% of that would be 350,000 differences between an ape and a human being. If we allow for what they're saying.
What would 98% of that be? Go ahead. I'll wait.
Well, it doesn't matter what they're saying.
You don't want to bring up that one, do you?
Well, tell me what it is.
350,000.
I don't know what it is.
You want to talk about 350,000 and not the millions that are the same, right?
So what? Like
350,000 is a big number, but you say 2% as if it's nothing. Like it's a little bit of
2% is 2%.
Actually 1%.
I never said it wasn't anything. I said that obviously there's big differences.
But your 2% is a very large. Like it's a very large. It's part of a very large number. You know that 2%.
What was the number? 350,000. So how big are
35 million?
No. Oh, the 2% wasn't 35 million, right? Are you saying 2% is 35 million?
No, 1%. I'm just saying 1% to give you the benefit of, make it even better for you. 350,000 would be 1%.
Okay. If you line 350,000 grains of sand up, how long of a line would that be? You think? I mean, you think it gets you across the United States, maybe? Not near it, right?
I mean, Stump's not even right here because the human genome has like 3 billion base pairs.
So he's trying to say that the percentage doesn't matter, that because it's a large number, that just the fact that 2% represents a large number, which is ridiculous. And the 98% doesn't mean anything.
You know what I think the problem is? I think that he looked at the number 3.5 billion and seen 35 million.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah, because didn't he say 35 million base pairs?
Yeah, that's what he started with. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit off.
Yeah.
Don't know.
So we're talking about proteins here, and yeah, you want to bring up a number 350,000 and act like it's something out of millions. It's not.
Right. If it had been 35 base pairs, That'd be like, oh wow, it's only 3.5 difference between an ape and a monkey. No, it's 350,000 difference in
it's
DNA.
Still 2%.
That's a big number. That's a big number. That's 1%.
Yeah.
2%.
Okay, that's 1%. What is your point in saying it's a big number? What does that tell you?
There's a big difference.
It's 1%. It's not a big difference. They're almost the same completely at 1%. 350,000 is nothing out of millions. Yeah, you're trying to pull this law of big numbers fallacy, and it's just not. It doesn't mean anything.
You're trying to pull. We have similarities, therefore related
tell
fallacy.
We observe those similarities. It's not a fallacy.
We've never observed an ape, gradually evolving into anything other than another ape.
We observe it in the DNA. Yeah.
Okay, but that would follow if humans are still apes, though. That would still, it would still mean evolution is true.
And we have seen transitions in the fossil record as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, they say that, we haven't seen change at the level of macroscopic animals like, chimps and humans. Yeah, because that's going to be macroevolution that's going to take place over a longer period than a human lifetime. But we can look at other organisms like bacteria, like that he admits share the same DNA code, and we do see those changes. So, I mean, does it just not happen in these other species, or is something invalidated if you just can't see it happen in the time span of a human lifetime? No, it's just such a stupid, just more, incredulity.
This one,
really, we just need this.
Yes, we do. We see it in the DNA. They can even tell you where.
All right, look. So what you're saying is that apes over billions of years, whatever, millions of years, apes kept breeding to what, like a Neanderthal, and then a Neanderthal to a human being, which Neanderthals were like much larger than us. They had higher bone density.
So there's a lot more steps in it than that. But
okay. So have we ever observed it? Have we ever observed it?
Evolution, yes. We can observe evolution now.
Okay.
I mean, you can. It's in the
macroevolution.
Yes, it's in the DNA.
You know what the funny thing is? It's like, yeah, do you know why Neanderthals would have been more likely to have a higher bone density? It's because it would have been an adaptation to their climate and their environment.
Right. And look how dishonest. He's either dishonest or he's wholly ignorant of. Didn't he say that apes evolved into Neanderthals, which evolved into humans? I mean, I've never really heard any creationists ever make those leaps like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't even have the base level of understanding of the topic to even talk about it.
Right.
Does this go back, though, to that whole March of Human Progress graphic that had Neanderthals in it, as if Neanderthals were basically the predecessor species to humans, when in fact it's Homo erectus and Neanderthals are actually our cousins and are a cousin species, not direct.
I think that's right, Frank. I think they misrepresent evolution by saying that we believe in that diagram, whereas the thought nowadays is it's like a much more complex with branches, a lot of branches, and those branches coming to dead ends, when a species goes extinct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just the whole concept that there's a singular progression, and that kind of ties into it's a very outdated idea, and I think it ties in, and this isn't on accident, with the sort of racist notion of becoming more evolved and becoming closer to the ideal of a white man, versus the darker skin, less evolved, the idea that any modern human or humans that coexist at the same time can be more or less evolved than each other. I think it ties in with that whole outdated idea. Like during Darwin's time, a lot of the most expert scientists couldn't agree on how many races of humans there were. Like Darwin knew that we were all the same race, but he was progressive for his time. And I think it ties into that whole like, like the like debunked science where they try and measure people's skulls, that type of thing. So it's just
phrenology or whatever.
Yeah, phrenology. It's all sort of ties into that.
Well, and even before that, I remember R.N. Ra pointing out in one of his debates, Carolus Linnaeus challenging the scientific community to find characteristics to distinguish between man and ape. And he admitted that he could not find any, but he was careful about how I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he had to be careful of how he said it, because if he had said it in the wrong way, quote unquote, he would have been under the ban of all ecclesiastics.
Yeah, it would be outrageous. It would be outrageous to say these type of things. That's why I said like him and Darwin, they had progressive views for their time, even though they want to paint Darwin as a racist and paint evolution as racist, but it's really the opposite.
And they don't want to recognize that Darwin was building on the work of Carolus Linnaeus and other scientists.
His own grandfather,
they want to claim him for their very own, because he believed in God, and I think it'd be more. If I had been on this panel, I would have been tempted to just do the Ali G joke with Lupin about Lupin, has you ever eaten a banana?
You can even see where we split from apes, where the chromosome split. Like this is all well understood stuff. Really? If you care to understand it.
So well understood.
If you care to believe it,
there's no belief involved. I don't believe it. I look at the science and I accept it. Evolution.
You sure do. You believe that
350,000
gravity is not a big deal.
Okay, like evolution is more supported than the germ theory of disease. Like I don't know. You're saying I believe it, but it's the most supported scientific theory there is.
No.
Yes, it is.
That's also like fake.
Look it up. It's true. Look up what is the most supported scientific theory. You're going to come up with evolution, the germ theory of disease, and gravity. Those are the three most supported.
Yeah, but regardless, it's still a theory.
It's a theory. At the end of the day, it's a theory.
It's a belief,
which means that it's true.
Change
in every situation that they've tested it. It's true. That's what a theory is.
You're theoretically an ape. Gotcha. Okay, you believe that's true. Okay, that's fine. You want to believe that? That's fine.
And when I got into it with these guys, Stump wanted to basically say that theory was not fact. Sorry, I didn't mean to overtalk the video. Stump basically wanted to what's the word? Obfuscate. That essentially a scientific theory is something that's effectively been proven.
They're reverting to the colloquial use of the word theory and refusing to acknowledge that scientific theory has a different meaning.
That is their go-to every single time.
Right. And it's dishonest because they've been told this multiple times, even somebody like Lupin.
I'm getting ready to tell him that exact thing.
Yeah, this is about the time when Kentucky Atheist makes his exit, I think.
Can I just add one more thing real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I like when Joe brought up that evolution is the most supported theory there is because, it covers so many different fields of study, from genetics to geology to paleontology to radiometric dating, which is physics, to all these different sciences. It's a synthesis of data from all those different sciences, and that's what makes it so well supported.
Right. It's different fields that cross-confirm each other. That's why it's the most well supported.
Right.
Which is counterintuitive, You would think that something like gravity or germ theory would be more well supported, but It's not, and you notice that they don't take the time to look it up, even though Lupin has like a share screen open where he could be looking at this stuff and Googling it, but they're just not interested in engaging with the argument.
Now, AJ, that's for Jesus words only. That screen is.
Ah, okay. That's good.
Oh, that's a holy screen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
yeah,
you guys always try to make theory out to be something it's not.
I don't understand what theory is, but I mean, Kentucky, we've had this conversation before, and I pulled up, the definition for it.
Yeah, and last time we did, you just honestly tried to hide the definition of theory on the screen. Yeah, we did.
Theory right here: a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle or body of principles offered to explain phenomena.
Okay, now look up scientific theory. We'll go through this all again.
Oh no!
I mean, this definition he read isn't even that bad, because that's what a theory is. It's an explanation of a phenomenon that's made up of a body of facts. So it's not just like, and again, this is done by people who are experts in the relevant field, the field that we're talking about, which is biology. It's not just like I've got a theory about the next Marvel movie that's going to come out or something, like a hunch. It's, again, like the colloquial definition. It's such a tired ass argument, Like, we're really in 2025, creationists are still coming at us with I didn't come from no monkey and it's just a theory. Like, seriously?
If we came from chimps, why are there still chimps?
Yeah.
Well, if I have bread and I make toast, why do I still have bread?
Oh, no. We're not going to go through this here.
We're talking about science.
Do you have anything else to add?
If we're talking about science,
we talked about this too much.
Why would you be against looking up the definition of the word that we're actually talking about instead of looking up a different definition?
Because we've already done this before, man.
Right, and it made you wrong then too.
No, I'll put it up for you right now. Scientific theory, a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world supported by extensive evidence, and is a cornerstone of scientific understanding, unlike a simple guess or hunch. Now let's
there you go.
Well, that's a great definition,
Right.
because it includes that extra detail that it's not like the colloquial definition. That's the important part. So I'm glad they included that.
Yeah.
So he read that, but it's like, is it going to get like absorbed? No, because Lupin is super saturated with alcohol already, so he can't.
Stump and God.
Yeah, and I don't criticize Lupin for drinking. Like, he's 21. He can do what he wants. He's an adult. What I have an issue with is the coming on streams and being inebriated. I just find it very distasteful.
Yeah.
That's what I have a problem with. I don't care if people drink.
With that too, but he wants to act like this almost like he's a holier than thou Christian too. He wants to tell you not to cuss on his stream. But then, as Claude pointed out, though, then he'll have his own streams where he's either cussing or other people are cussing. He's watching videos with people discussing vile things, and his father thinks that it's brilliant TV.
Well, it's the same thing with Hovind. Ken Hovind has this big thing about cursing, but it's like Kent will say some of the most despicable things you can say about a person to insult them, but just because he didn't curse, that makes it okay.
Yeah, somehow he's still holy, I guess, or behaving.
Yeah, holy guacamole.
I'm not a Christian anymore, and I'll just say it right here in front of all y'all. I'm a better Christian than these people. I think all of us here on this panel are better Christians than these people are, and we're atheists. And I was a better Christian than them when I was a Christian, and I'm a better Christian than them now.
That's pretty good.
Oh, see what the definition for theory was: a plausible or scientifically acceptable general principle or body of principles offered to explain phenomena. It's the same thing, man. It's like it's
no. The well substantial.
Oh, we have Nick in here. How's it going, Nick?
Oh, it's going good. Just finally got home from work and everything. So just enjoying listening to you guys.
Good to see you, Nick.
Cool.
Hello, Nick.
Yeah, I just want to say I don't understand. As someone who is a Christian creation, I don't understand what is the problem with admitting the general scientific consensus, and why do you have a problem with that? And like personally, maybe I'm a rare breed, but personally myself, someone who went to college and Embry-Riddle and others, like why do you have a problem with that? I don't know. And then these people out there, especially tent fans and stuff. Yeah, most of you guys are better human beings and people than they are. So, like the one guy was just saying, yeah, you're better Christian than they are, and it's sad.
I think it's objectively verifiable. It really is.
I think you are a rare breed, Nick. But I wouldn't recommend it. But I do think it would be interesting to see you talk to Lupin, just because you're coming at a perspective of being a Christian.
Yeah, maybe one of these days when I got some time, just explain to them, like, you got to understand that people who don't have the Bible and believe in Christ, right? They go at this from a point of studying the evidence scientifically without those things, and these are the conclusions, and this is the evidence, and this is what's been built based on that. And if your faith is so weak that you can't see, yeah, I could see how that can come together. I could see how they would put all this evidence together. I could see how from this angle, yep, that's the way it goes. What does that have anything to do with your own issues? Like, they have to destroy everything except for their own view, because they really don't believe it. Otherwise their lives would support it, their actions, and it doesn't. So this is one of the reasons why I support your community and everybody with you, because these people make me sick. So literally, it's sad. You guys have been better, more awesome. You do study the science, you do go into the research, and for them to not even consider it is foolish.
All right. Well, it looks like Lupin's trying to join again. Earlier, he was in his car and it was a little loud, but it looks like he's home now.
Boy.
So I'll give him another chance.
Hey,
Alrighty.
did we disconnect earlier or what?
No, I booted you because I don't like you very much.
Oh, okay. Makes sense. Okay.
Well,
Well,
you
I
run
wanna
your
say
mouth a
something,
lot.
Lupin.
You talk a lot of crap. No, go
I would
ahead.
say, let me
Do
say
I?
something, Lupin. I'm a Christian. I'm a creationist, and
Okay.
AJ and everybody, they've been, if you actually just listen and talk, you'd understand. Even though we can have vehemently disagreements on our view of life and everything, we still have respect and kindness for each other. So,
Right.
so what would you say? Am I not a believer because I support his community? I'm kind of
You
curious what
could
you
be
think about that.
you could be a total scumbag and be a believer, sure.
So you're saying I'm a scumbag?
No, I'm just saying, to answer your question, you can be a scumbag and be a believer.
Okay, so would you say people that disagree on ideas but can respect each other's ideas and have a community together and talk about things, when people from outside that community tend to be disrespectful and actually live or act differently than they should, then who's the scumbag in that situation?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I've never met you before. I've just watched little clips and stuff here and there. So
Okay.
my point is, if you really got to know AJ and all these guys, you'd be surprised how much they don't have a problem with different ideas. They have a problem when you disrespect each other over those ideas. Like, as a Christian, I understand the evidence. I understand the things that back up evolution and all of that. I understand when you don't have the Bible of God, this is how you would interpret that. This is how you would see that. It doesn't break my faith or my beliefs, seeing the evidence and all the facts that they have to build the theory. And you got to understand, all around the world, there are thousands and thousands of people researching and doing this. It doesn't break my faith saying, yeah, I could see how you got that. I could see the evidence. I have no problem with that.
Let's
See,
see.
Kent wants to say they're dumb and stupid, and actually they're not. They are studying, researching, and they're finding all that evidence based off of just what they see in this natural world. And as someone who wouldn't have a relationship with God or the Bible, that's exactly how I would see it and interpret it. And so therefore I have no problem with that. And I see how they get all the evidence. I see how they build that. I see, and it doesn't break my faith to say, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yes, your science makes sense. I have no issue with that. As a matter of fact, I would see it that way too. And I understand where they're coming from. I'm not then going to turn around and say you're stupid for believing this and you're, you know what I mean? Like, we can have a difference of ideas and still talk and be respectful and kind to each other. So I guess I get confused when I see people like Hint saying, I'm gonna,
Like who?
SpongeBob, just imagine, can't and calling them stupid and I'm sorry, but when you look at the scientific consensus, when you look at the evidence and everything that they've built to build this idea, it's not stupid. It's
So
actually very much backed up by facts and science.
let me
Okay,
I
ask you this.
disagree with it, but still agree that
Let
they
me
have
ask you
facts.
this.
Let's give Lupin a chance to respond to that.
So you said you're a Christian, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what Psalms 1-3 says?
Yeah.
And what do you think of the verse that says, they who believe that there is no God are fools?
I mean, you're not really engaging with the stuff he was asking.
I'm engaging.
No, you're changing the topic. You're asking him something else, but you didn't really answer his question.
His question was, again, can you simplify it in one sentence?
Yeah, what's wrong with saying that their evidence and facts backs up their ideas, and they have a lot of evidence to back that up? How does that discredit having a different idea?
They can have whatever idea they want. I don't care what they believe. I pray that they come to the Lord, though. Don't you?
Of course, but what does that have to do with then belittling them for their beliefs?
Who's belittling who? Let me see. Let's read the comments. Nismo says, you are a fuckwit, Lupin. Shunk, disgusting him. Let's see. Let's continue read. Let's see. Can you ask Lupin why he
That
thinks
says
he's
Shunk
anything?
is dusting him. Can you read properly?
He
Lupin?
says, can you ask Lupin why he thinks he's anything other than a drunk parasite? Such a garbage person. Let's see.
And what did you say on your stream, Lupin?
On which one? I have multiple.
The one we were watching, the one where you said it would be Aiden and Big Bad Mama's fault if Wildheart killed himself.
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys frustrate him. The last thing that he'd want to be on is just a stream where he just gets antagonized a lot. So
you criticize them for talking about Wildheart, and Wildheart's not there. I'm pretty sure he was in the hospital at that time.
I don't know where he was at, but he wasn't there.
No, they knew where he was at.
So why are you just?
So don't make stupid statements like that.
Yeah, they were trying to tell you what was going on with him.
That's a serious thing to say about somebody.
We know what's going on.
I would never say anything like that about you.
Because I'm not like Wildheart. Lupin drives me crazy. You don't even know me. That's coming from you, Shunk. Interesting. I don't even know
Lupin,
you. Never even heard you.
Lupin, they were trying to tell you what was going on with Wildheart.
So,
on that stream,
we're not talking about Wildheart right now. You got
to something else.
No. You guys are changing the subject. You guys are changing the subject. So let me see.
Lupin, do you understand? Can you steelman the evolution? Wait a minute, Frank. Can you steelman the evolution position, or do you really think that evolutionists believe that apes became Neanderthals, which became humans? Do you actually believe that evolutionists think that?
How do you think we got here?
There were stages.
Okay, so
no, you need to engage with the question, not just ask a different question.
Right.
Well, no.
Answer the question.
I believe the biblical account.
Can you steelman our position? Is what I'm asking you.
I believe the biblical account. I don't need a.
That's not answering the question.
I don't need a debate or anything.
Well, then don't talk to people about evolution. Then
Jesus Christ is Lord. That's all I gotta say.
Okay,
you've been
but
indoctrinated your entire life.
You're to be the example then, Lupin. No matter how anyone you think is treating you or talking about you,
but do you see how hypocritical you were? Do you see how hypocritical
absolutely.
you were?
I'm critical about how you treated other people.
I treat people
when you're supposed
kindly.
to be the example. If you are saying Christ is in your heart and leading you, you should be the example. You should be kinder and sweeter and more patient than all of them, no matter what they say or do.
Oh, I pray
And
for
what's
all of.
sad
I
is
pray
when I
for
see
all
a
of these
community of people
guys.
claiming to be Christians and the other community is actually being kinder and more respectful than the person claiming to be the Christian. So that's where I
Really?
say you drive me crazy because
This
if you really love the
community.
Lord and He's in your heart, none of this will bother you, and all you'll do is always be kind, respectful. You'll respect their ideas. You can tell them, like me and AJ, we totally disagree on how the world came, but you know what? We're always respectful and kind to each other, even when we totally disagree on our basic foundations
Oh, I'm
of
very
how the world came
respectful.
together.
I'm very respectful to these guys. When was I disrespectful?
Okay. AJ, if you want to answer that.
Show me when I was disrespectful.
The calling out my haters stream. You said that Claude Balls was like on like some type of list, and
Probably.
you basically said that everybody, all the atheists you were talking about, yeah, that's a good claim to make with no evidence.
You guys make claims without evidence all the time.
That's different than calling somebody a pedo.
What sort of claim did we make that's
I
equal
don't
to
have
that?
a car. I never had a job.
Oh God, you think that's the same thing? You don't have a job.
I mean, everything. You guys
Those
lie
are
about everything.
Those are falsifiable, though. That was the point of people asking you that, because you could prove or disprove.
I've never
that,
seen Claude.
I
don't even consider Claude an actual person. He should cam up, and then maybe I'll have some.
You've talked to him before.
No, I've never seen him. I've never seen him. So I don't know if he's
have you
even
seen
real.
Logan? You talked to him.
I'm barely going to talk to him anymore.
Again, though.
So you're not seeing this. You don't see the hypocrisy.
Whoa.
You don't see the hypocrisy.
Wait. It doesn't matter about the hypocrisy. It matters about being the example. If you are the Christian, you should be the example, and instead you're quote unquote doing actually worse than what they're doing. If you're supposed to be the example, this is one thing drives me crazy about Kent is he wants to claim all these things. He's not the example.
Am I not allowed to defend myself when people constantly slander and lie about me?
Yeah, there's a way to respectfully defend yourself.
Oh, okay. So then why don't these guys? Why don't these guys do it respectfully?
Again, they're not claiming to be a godly man that loves the Lord and trying to save people's souls.
So that gives them the right to be pieces of crap.
What does that have to do with you and your behavior? What does that have to do with you and your behavior?
I'm very kind. I'm very kind to these people. I pray for the best of them.
But you don't treat them as the very best.
Oh, I treat them very fair.
Like, you know that you're being falsifiable. Like you're obviously lying.
Talk to me like a normal person.
You know that you're lying right now.
Lying about what?
That I'm so nice to these people in this panel. No, you're not.
I'm way nicer than I need to be to you.
Like when you gave him the backhand comment about his mediocre art, and then said you like some of it. I
think he would probably agree.
Let's see your art then.
My art is terrible. You don't want to see it.
So then why are you criticizing what I do?
If you don't know
what you're talking about. So that means that mine is mediocre because I didn't paint the fucking Mona Lisa.
I can look at art. No, I just said, hey, you've improved on your artwork. Congratulations.
What? But no, you didn't say it like that. You said, oh, my art was mediocre and now it's okay. Like, you have to say it in the most backhanded way.
You've improved. No. Congratulations.
Yeah. You're very,
my point is,
you just take it so personal. It's crazy. Why do you take it so personal, AJ?
Why would I take it personally? You're out here No, shut up, Lupin. It's my stream, and I'm going to mute you. Why would I take it personally that somebody insulted my art? It's because that's personal to me. It's an emotional expression, and it matters to me. If you knew what the fuck you were talking about and you wanted to criticize it, that would be one thing. But you don't, because you don't know shit about art or anything else.
Or not even that. If you just did it in a respectful way and always respectful, that would be different. But the way you said it was to purposely be disrespectful. Like, let me look.
Wow, I said.
Did he embarrass the tax collector in front of? No. He called him down. He went, had dinner with him. He treated him with kindness and respect.
Like, what are you talking about taxes? What are you talking about taxes?
I'm talking about Jesus. calling out the tax collector in the tree, how he treated him in public in front of everybody. He didn't
in the
go,
tree,
"Oh, you little man, you're short," and you. No, he didn't
dude.
do that. He was kind and
Jesus
respectful.
flipped the
So you
tables.
want to no? What I'm
Jesus
saying,
flipped
this
tables
is what
and
drives
whipped
me
the
crazy.
Pharisees.
Is if you want to claim that, you should be the example.
Nicholas,
even if you disagree with their ideas.
Don't be
and
unequally yoked with unbelievers, man. Don't be unequally yoked.
What is that? What is that? Okay, so was
You say
Jesus
you're a
unequally
Christian. You
yoked?
should.
Was Jesus
Bible
unequally
101.
yoked with the tax collector?
This is Bible
With Mary
101.
Magdalene, with the prostitute that was going to be stoned. So was he unequally yoked? Please answer that for me.
Jesus was preaching to them. Are you preaching to these people? Are you sharing the gospel with them?
Ask AJ. You know how I do it by how I treat them and respect them and disagree.
Atheist Junior.
Yeah.
Has he said anything about the gospel?
The same way that anybody that I've been friends with who's a Christian, yeah, in our private conversations, we have talked about that before. So
when was it? What is the gospel, Nicholas? Can you tell me what the gospel is?
Again, why are you asking me questions instead of answering about your behavior?
Because I already answered my behavior. You're just not accepting it. There's nothing I can do about that.
Accept it. What I'm saying is that
I'm saying I'm very kind and fair.
Example, then why are you doing backhanded comments and continuing to fight and be disrespectful instead of honoring their ideas and treating them with the kindness and showing them what God really is by who you are as a character? Instead, you're acting like you have God in you. Whoa. Wait. Wow.
I'm not Jesus. Are you sharing
but
the gospel?
You're claiming that Jesus changed you, but yet you're acting like someone that's never been changed and being judgmental and being disrespectful.
I'm still a human being
to all these people.
I'm still a human being.
Understandable. Then instead of being prideful and arguing, say, I was wrong, I shouldn't have treated you guys that way, I'm sorry. And you'd be surprised how awesome these people will be to you. And then you can actually live as an example and actually affect people's lives.
These people would never be nice to me.
Wow, well, I guess you don't know that.
That's not true, Lupin, because you know that
AJ, how long have we known each other? AJ, how long have we interacted with each other?
Probably like 2 years. And in the early time, you and me have had some cordial conversations.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we did.
No,
that's okay. Well, then you're being a revisionist history.
No,
the tone of our conversations was cordial, was more cordial at the beginning. And the reason that it devolved was because you insulted somebody that I care about, and I asked you to apologize for that, and you refused to. I said that we could be cool if you apologize for this, and you told me that you never would until the day that you died. You'd never apologize. So
I don't believe I said that, and also I never insulted that person. It was more of an insult to you. I thought we understood that.
That's not how I took it. That's not how
I'm not Jesus. Whatever your name is, I'm not Jesus.
But you're claiming that you follow Jesus.
I'm a Christian.
Yeah. So you claim you follow Jesus.
But I'm a human.
You're the example.
Yeah. I have feelings, emotions. Yep. I get angry at times. I get upset. Yeah. Sometimes that happens whenever I'm especially.
Me and AJ have had heated conversations before too, but we treat each other with kindness and respect.
So why are you here with a whole bunch of atheists? Why don't you fellowship with Christians?
Because the people claiming to be Christians are not actually, especially Kent and all them. They're not.
Oh, and Kent and all them.
Oh, do you know that I literally used to spend every single day with Kent Hovind for hours every night? You know, I was by his side through all. Do you know that? Do you know who I am? Do you know who my wife was?
When did you say there?
Shunk, Julie. Remember Julie?
Oh, wait a minute. Julie. Do you remember me?
You came in later, buddy.
Okay. So I was there for 3 months. I got to know Kent very well as well.
3 months? We were there for years.
No, that's a lie.
Yeah, Nick was his video. That is not a lie.
I was there for 3 months.
I was his video editor. I used to do songs and music. I used to be with the man every single day. And when I saw the way that he treated Cindy, when I saw the way that he treated a lot of his employees. Oh no, don't get me wrong. I ain't no Cindy fan either. Okay, I am a fan for the truth and what's right. I was there when instead of instead of judging people and just trusting people, maybe you should research and talk and treat people with kindness, and then you would learn things.
I treat people with plenty of kindness. Maybe you should apply that to these people. And just because they're atheists doesn't mean that they cannot be respectful and kind people. Okay, so I think you need to do some self-reflection as a
respectful and kind. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine. Read the comments here, and then come back and tell me that with an honest heart. Okay, Mr. Shunk.
Well, they're angry when they see how you're responding back and treating others.
How am I responding?
Do we need to play the video, the calling out my haters video again, and see you saying that like Aiden is like a reprehensible person and Claude Balls is like a pedophile and that I'm like a hateful person and all this stuff? Is that you? If that's you being nice, then I would hate to see you being mean and hateful to somebody.
You would hate to see that because I could get very nasty. I could get very nasty if you push me too far.
You're a very tough guy, Lupin.
But your heart shouldn't be that way.
Okay. Well, Mr. Shunk, I think you should get back into the Bible and into Christ. And, I mean, really, you have no counsel with non-believers, and I don't see you spreading the gospel. I see you here just spreading rumors and just being joyful and lottie-dottie with them. I don't see you spreading the gospel, which that's what Jesus Christ did. Jesus Christ didn't just go and party with everybody. He spread the gospel. He had a purpose. You were just here entertaining these guys. So I mean, go ahead.
Says the guy who's on his fucking 5th White Claw. Okay. Lupin, why do you think that you can disrespect people and be condescending and not get disrespected back? That's my question.
Then you'd have to
you think you're
bring up an example. Do you think you're special?
No, answer my question. Why do you think you can disrespect people and that people aren't going to say rude things back to you?
I don't disrespect people.
Yeah, you do.
You just disrespected me and you don't know anything. You say I'm saying rumors when I literally have evidence and facts that if you called me personally, we could talk about it and I could show you.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, come to my stream one day. Come to my stream one day.
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay. All right. Do that, Mr. Shunk. And I'm going to
come to your stream.
Why do you call me Mr. Shunk? I'm not. Yeah. I'm not. My name is Nick. And I'm not disrespectful to you being like Mr. Lupin.
Yeah. How is that not being condescending? How is that not you being intentionally condescending?
I'm calling him Mr. Shunk. Are you
not? The way you're pronouncing
Mr.?
The way you're pronouncing it, yes.
Mr. Shunk.
How is that not you being condescending on purpose?
I don't know. Maybe you guys
Why do you play dumb, bro? Why do you play dumb all the time?
You can't read tones, I guess. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Why do you play dumb? The tone is what's disrespectful.
Oh, the tone. The tone is what gets y'all.
Yeah, so you don't see yourself as being condescending the way that you speak and talk, like right now, what you're doing right now.
What am I doing right now?
The way that you speak, you don't realize, do you not have the self-awareness to see how you come off as condescending and rude?
No.
Okay, but see, that's, again, supposed to be an example.
Okay, well, I'm going to read this super chat from Well Ain't That Swell for $19.99. It says, money for the Lupin Self-Awareness is Free Fund. And I had another one from him for... They donated to the Get Lupin Sober Fund. See, these are super chats. These are donations that you get. They're actually real, not like you with your fake subscribers, your fake view counts, and asking for money on Cash App. You haven't gotten you wouldn't even have gotten monetized for real if you didn't have to buy fake subscribers. Why don't you put the work in and get some real YouTube subscribers instead of cheating and cutting corners like the way you do fake push-ups, you fat fuck?
Why do you keep lying? Oh, wow. You're being such a nice person right now. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr.
Yeah, I'm exactly as nice. I'm exactly as nice people. I'm exactly as nice and kind to you as I have to be.
That was nice, but I can understand where it's coming from.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm
Mr. Shunk, you're a hypocrite, Mr. Shunk. I'm sorry. I'm gonna just tell you straight to your face, like a man to man. You're a hypocrite, and enjoy dwelling with the darkness here.
Yeah, run away.
May God have mercy on your soul, and God bless all of y'all.
Before you go, I'm proud to be third on your list, and I look forward to working my way up that list. Of course, it runs out.
Well, you know what's funny about that?
It's a badge of honor that I'm ranked third.
Yeah, exactly.
On his hate list.
So he says, "Be proud with the darkness." Wait, didn't Jesus go with the tax collectors, the hookers, the whores? The like, what? Where is he coming from? If you're supposed to like live your life and be an example, he's literally doing the exact opposite of what the person he says he loves and follows. So it's ridiculous to me.
I appreciate you trying to talk to him, Nick, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna end the stream there. But that was fun. Thank you guys for joining me.
Yeah.
Thanks, AJ. That was fun.
Yeah, Nick, you did good. Yeah, thanks, AJ, for having us on.
I appreciate it.
And everything.
No problem. No problem.
He just frustrates me so much. You know,
I know that's the thing is that's why it's almost impossible to not get frustrated talking to somebody who just won't engage with like what you're saying. That's the irritating thing, because I find it very like childish. He's complaining about getting insulted, but it's like that those comments aren't apropos of nothing. Like they don't just come out of nowhere. Okay,
well,
we have another super chat.
He's literally insulting and then complaining about insulting. So
yeah. Okay, we have one more super chat from Well That Ain't Swell. It says, "Can't booze up a girl to take advantage of her if you drink it all first." Wow. Well, thank you for the super chats. I didn't even get a chance to talk about all the stuff with Kent Hovind when you were there, Nick, and like the people he hired and had around him that were stealing stuff, and committing crimes of their own, like his tech guy. And they're like, you were there for a long time. There are like legitimate reasons why you left EAL, and he just like wanted to hand wave all of that stuff.
Oh yeah, you want to say I'm spreading rumors? Rumors,
yeah,
dude. I've spent more time with Kent than you ever have. So don't talk to me about that.
That was ridiculous.
Again, it's that false dichotomy, and I'd rather your guys' room is much brighter than any room that Kent and his fans are in. So
for real.
And can I say something, AJ?